Welcome back to Cheap Tuesdays. Now today we are looking at a pedal I've had for about 6 or 7 months, and I've mentioned in various videos, recorded with it a lot of things and never reviewed it. Now part of the reason is because it suited a certain amp I came into, acquired in November last year. But due to what happened in the world in about March, I never got it serviced. And while it sounds pretty good, it doesn't have a lot of noise, doesn't necessarily need a service. I knew it could sound better, and I was kind of waiting until I could do that so before I did any reviews with it in there. But it still looks like that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I thought, let's just do the KMISE review. It still sounds great. And the reason I wanted to use this amp for this, which is the 1965 VOX AC50, it's because it has more headroom. It also has a wider frequency response when blending the two channels, because the normal channel has heaps of low end. And my other amps, great cleans and stuff, but a little less headroom and not as much low end. And with a pedal like this, which is super high gain, it really does help to have a bigger sounding amp. It kind of lets it breathe a little bit more. So what is the KMISE US Dream? Well, it is one of the cheapest distortion pedals I own. It is also a clone of the Joyo US Dream, which in itself is a clone of the Sewer Riot. A famous kind of high gain tone, basically that hot rodded tone, almost so not really 5150 but Soldano, but that kind of realm. It's like based on the Marshall kind of thing, but a lot more modern, a lot more aggressive, a lot more fat in the low end. Really, really great pedal. And this is great too, and it's so cheap. So we've got volume, distortion, tone. Very, very simple. I'm playing the J and D LP again. Humbuckers, down half a step, drop D. Now we will play the Tele at some point just to give an idea of single coils. That can go pretty high gain with single coils. But mainly sticking with the J and D. So let's just get started. I'm going to just play my clean tone. The amp cab I'm using, basically IR I'm using, is based on an orange cab. It's Ownhammer IR from their newer kind of stereo pack, even though this is just a mono IR. But that new Ownhammer pack, it's the orange cab in that, which I think has D12 H30s in it. Yeah, real nice tone. So let's start with clean tone. It's the humbucker on the bridge. You know, it's your kind of humbuckery clean tone. A fair bit of headroom, so it doesn't compress too much. But there is a little bit of distortion just because it is humbuckers. So let's bring the distortion down. As you bring it down, you get a lot less gain. It gets a bit darker. And there you lose a bit too much volume. It's kind of a bit useless. Turn it up, you get a bit more volume and it starts to kind of break up. You bring it up midway, you've got start getting more into high gain territory, and from there on it just gets thicker and more sustaining. You can really hear that bottom end starting to get real big there. Probably a bit too big for recording, but you can always cut it. Look at the tone control. Let's just turn it off for a second while I talk. Let's look at the tone control. It basically goes from smooth to bitey. It's a fairly kind of normal treble style control. So we'll turn the gain back just a little bit and go through things. So straight up. Go to the right, you get a bit more high end. A bit more aggressive. All the way up. Back to the middle. And as you turn it down, really rolls off that treble there. And as it's down here, it is basically, you know, kind of muffled. Blanket on the speaker kind of sound. So I find between 12 o'clock and full, even though it's quite subtle, that's where I like to keep it. And if I turn the gain down, I like to turn it up a bit more. So the gain's at 12 o'clock, I like it, you know, almost full. Almost full, especially with humbuckers. It does depend on how bright your amp is. Here, most of your tone changes is with the distortion control. So let's try it on the neck pickup. I'll set a setting kind of how I like, and then we'll move to the Telecaster. As I said, it's a fairly simple pedal. There's not a lot of different sounds in there. It's more how your amp and your guitar respond with it. I feel like it's fairly amp-like. It does have that big kind of aggressive high gain thing. Now it isn't super responsive, but either is a lot of the high gain amps it's trying to kind of get that sound of. So let's move to the neck pickup, play a little bit of something, adjust a few of the controls just to kind of suit it, and then we'll move to the Telecaster. Let me just tune that. let's move to the Telecaster. Okay, so I have the Warmoth T-Type now, or Telecaster. I mean, it's Fender licensed parts, but it's not actually made by Fender. And so let's really just listen to what it's doing with single coils. Again, it's still a high gain bass. Don't expect it to be kind of subtle. You know, this is standard tuning as well, so you get a bit of an idea. So here it is, just clean. And you can hear this amp does have a bit of hair. I've turned it down a fair bit. It's a kind of odd one. It kind of, that's why I think it needs a service. You've got a little bit of that hair going on, even though there's not much compression going on. I think it's just distorting in one part of the circuit. But it still sounds good. So let's crank this on. Now you can hear it has that kind of bit nasal, aggressive teliness now. You can dial a little bit of that out there. I think my favorite setting was about 12 o'clock with the Tele. Let's just hear it full gain up. Roll the tone back a little bit. Actually pushing everything a bit hard there. Let's see what I can do in the overdrive camp with the Tele. Let's bring it down, tone up a bit more volume. Switch to in series. My playing's a bit off today, sorry. So that has been the KMISE US Dream. Now you might see this pedal in upcoming videos as well, doing a few different things. Like I said a couple of weeks ago in Cheap Tuesday, maybe it was the last one, I'm going to try and do a few other videos. Now they don't seem to have the success rate yet, but hopefully some of you enjoy them and more people will watch these other kind of Cheap Tuesdays videos. So the last one I did was hard clipping circuits. So that had 3 different hard clipping circuits, including a pedal I am going to review in the next few weeks as well. Haven't shot that video yet either, but that was a DS1 style circuit. So check out that video if you haven't seen it. And as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.